is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty from Ty Drives, and sitting in front of us is the updated and refreshed 2025 Volkswagen Taos. And this one is in the very cool SE black trim level. And we're going to be checking out all the features this vehicle has to offer. First on the exterior, we'll then pop the hood and discuss our powertrains. We'll check out the hatch too in the cargo area, see how much space we have back there. Then we'll also see how much space we have in the second row of seats and kind of amenities. And finally, we will end the video with all the tech and new stuff in the driver's cockpit. So stay with us throughout the video, and make sure you check out my channel Ty Drives, or wait to the end of the video because I will provide you a link to our test drive impressions on this very vehicle. Yes, we will be test driving this exact vehicle, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So yeah, 2025 is an update for the Taos. It's been out for a couple years, and now we have an update. As we can see up front, we have the Volkswagen emblem. We also have the full-length lighting that goes all the way across into the headlamps. Now, the main part difference down here is the front, kind of the lower area. We have this kind of larger air intake and a new styling with parking sensors that go all the way across. And we even have some glossy black. Now, our headlights are also new, as is the kind of full-length lighting up front. Very cool looking aspect to the lights with this kind of H pattern. That's pretty cool. And take a look at it all illuminated. Everything is LED up front, as the high beams, low beams, turn signals, and daytime running lights. Pretty cool. Now the hood is kind of like a scaled back Atlas, if you ask me. It's got kind of like the same indentations, and it's very squared off. And if we take a look down here, of course, the SE Black Edition would have black wheels. So here they are, 19-inch wheels. Again, new for this year as well, and they measure up at 235/45. Now, the wheels and kind of the bottom of the doors are all surrounded in this glossy black to kind of cut down on the rock chips and stuff on this very bright cornflower blue paint. And the entire roof, even the A-pillars, are in glossy black, as well as the mirrors. So that's pretty nice with that SE black trim. Even our door handles are black. Up here you can see the roof rails, panoramic roof, and the shark fin antenna. And if we spin around, you can see our mirrors have blind spot warning. And our blacked out door handles also have smart key entry, so you just tap the little button to lock and unlock the doors. And we have a little Volkswagen emblem on the B pillar. Quick glance at the window sticker shows a $34,358 sticker price, with not too many options in this particular one, just a few accessories. However, this one is the 4Motion all-wheel drive. Back here we see new lighting too. So again, all LEDs. Take a look at it, all illuminated. It looks really good. So LED turn signals, tail lights, and brake lights as well. And as you can see, it goes all the way across. It's got a full light bar, and even the Volkswagen emblem lights up red at night. Pretty cool. We have parking sensors back here. The Taos badge right below the license plate frame. And then we also have the release for the trunk and the reversing camera with our 4Motion badging. So what do we think about the styling? I want to leave that up to you in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. But from what I think they did a really nice job on the redesign. You know, I first saw pictures of this new Taos, and the headlights looked a little bit weird in the pictures. But now that I'm seeing it in person, it looks really awesome. And before we go any further, I'd like to give a huge thanks to my friends at Valenti Volkswagen for providing this car for filming today. Let's check out under the hood. Under the hood of the 2025 Taos, we get some more power for 2025. It's the same engine, just tuned a little bit different. It's the 1.5 liter turbocharged inline 4 engine, and it now produces 174 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. And you can get front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Funny thing is, if you go with front-wheel drive, you get a conventional 8-speed automatic. But if you go with all-wheel drive like we have here, we get a dual clutch 8-speed transmission, so that's pretty cool. And it's pretty tidy under here, just held up by a prop still, and really no engine cover. And we'll see how this engine performs on our test drive, so again, make sure you check that out. So, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised when I open up the liftgate on the Taos. Now, it is manually opening on all trimmables, but it's nice and easy and light to open. And once you're back here, it's got a lot of space given the size of this vehicle. Now, that's one thing I've always been impressed with the Taos. Even though it's the smallest SUV that Volkswagen makes, it's still really roomy. As you can see, the storage goes all the way extended off to the sides with some pockets to either side. You also have grocery bag hangers, illumination, and a spot to put a cargo shade. And in case you need more room, the seats will split fold at 60/40, and you also have a trunk pass-through. That's pretty cool. Now we have kind of like this all-weather cargo mat, and underneath you have your regular mats. And underneath that, we have your spare tire and tools. So that pretty much does it in the trunk. Let's check out the rear seats. Okay, so here's the rear seats on the Volkswagen Taos. As you can see, nice big rear door. And again, lots of space back here. So plenty of room for passengers and cargo. Now let's take a look at the rear door real quick. Where I wanted to show you, it is mostly hard to touch materials except where the armrest is. You have some contrast stitching and a little bit of kind of painted trim here with your door handle and surrounding. We do have 6 speakers on the Taos SE black trim and a bit of storage down at the bottom. Now, these seats are a pretty interesting material, and Volkswagen calls them cloud techs. So it's this kind of seating material in the middle. It almost looks like suede, but when you feel it, it kind of feels like a leather material. So pretty interesting and a lot easier to clean than suede, but it also looks the part. It looks really, really nice. Other materials on the seat are kind of a leatherette and cloth as well. Then you can also fold down the seat like so. And it folds down almost flat with the cargo space, so you can slide things in nice and easy. You can also fold down the armrest with a couple of cup holders, and you can see the handle for the pass-through. What do you say we hop in quick and check out how much space there is back here? So, I'm 5'10", and I have this seat adjusted to a normal driving position for myself. And take a look. I've got at least 4 or 5 inches of legroom back here. And there's also a pretty small drivetrain hump too. So if you have to fit a third person back here in a pinch, they won't be too uncomfortable. And this is actually a pretty wide vehicle too. So again, you know, space-wise, if you have to fit a third person back here, I think they'll just be just fine. You have a couple of air vents too back here and a USB-C charger. And again, it is just surprisingly roomy, and you have these big quarter windows too to aid visibility. You have grab handles, coat hooks, LED illumination, and a nice view of this giant panoramic roof. What do you say we check out the front next? Okay. Okay, so the driver's cockpit, let's check out the door first. Wear materials, I'm glad to say, do improve quite a bit. We now have soft touch on the top, some more of that pretty cool painted trim with your lock unlock buttons, and some of that cloud text material right on the door with your leather door rests. You also got some contrast stitching on the upper part and the lower part, and we have all of our mirror and window adjustments, and a bit more storage at the bottom and a speaker at the bottom too. On the left of the dash, we have some new styled air vents. So the old Taos, or the pre-facelift Taos, had these kind of skinny ones. This one has some more macho looking air vents. Down here we have all of our headlight controls, the release for your tilt telescoping steering wheel and also for your hood. And we have some pretty nice looking pedals and all-weather floor mats and accessory on the Taos, one that I definitely recommend. You also have these pretty cool stainless steel trays right here, and the driver's seat is really nice looking. You kind of almost have this pad style for the cloth on the sides of the seat, and then that cloud text material in the middle. And I'm happy to say the driver's seat is fully powered with two-way lumbar, and the passenger seat is six-way manual adjusting. What do you say we hop in out of this cold and check out the interior? Okay, so now that we're seated in the Taos, the keen eye will notice some differences in here. I already pointed out the air vents to you. What about the screen? So the screen surround is a little bit different. All the software and everything is the same, but the surround is different. You have a different frame, and you also have a different climate control, and we'll get into all this stuff in just a minute. But here is the key. So we have the Volkswagen emblem at the back. We also have a switch to slide out a physical key, a panic alarm on the side, and the rest of your buttons on kind of the face of the key. You have the lock, unlock, trunk release, and the remote start, which is awesome. If you stick the key right down here, we have push button start right next to the shifter. And that'll fire up the turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. So let's take a look at this nicely leather wrapped steering wheel. We have kind of stitching on the inside, nice grip bolsters, and I am so thankful that Volkswagen didn't switch to the capacitive touch and glossy black buttons on some of their models. These are still physical buttons, and they're flat black, so they're not finicky to use, and they're also won't get dirty, so that's cool. Over here we have all of our adaptive cruise control settings, which is nice. Audio volume right there. Across the airbag cover we have our voice commands and a bunch of selections for the digital screen in front of us. Our heated steering wheel button, we'll make sure that that's on right now since it's freezing out. And we also have the ability to change different radio stations right on the steering wheel. Behind the wheel, we have a button kind of to quickly adjust your lane keeping assist and turn on and off your ACC. And you also have your high beams and turn signals. And to the other side, we have our front and our rear wiper. Now, up here, this is the standard screen setup, believe it or not. On the Taos, you get a fully digital screen setup on even the most basic one. Now, if you go to the SEL, you get like a full LCD screen that stretches all the way to the sides. But this one is kind of like from here to here. But it is a very nice screen setup, and it's pretty customizable. Now, parts that aren't part of the screen are the fuel gauge right over here and the coolant temperature right there. But the rest is all screen. Now, what we're looking at right now is kind of the large tachometer with a digital speedometer right in center, and what gear you're in. A couple of other things are the time and temperature, and then you also have like lane keeping assist information. We have a compass at the very bottom, kind of your odometer right there, some more lane keep assist information, and then we also have your distance till empty and your status for the heated steering wheel, which, by the way, is a 3-stage heated steering wheel, so that's pretty cool. Now, you can adjust the screen, like I said earlier, with these buttons. So you can press the view button, which will put you into kind of like an informational display. And then you also have a large speedometer screen, and then it'll go back to your tachometer. Now, you can adjust what you see in the center by pressing the arrows here. As you can see, very customizable. Lots of different stuff you can put in there. But for now, in this display, which happens to be my favorite display, I like to have the speed right in the center. Now, if we press the view button again with the more of the informational displays, we can then press this button and adjust what we see on this side. And not only this side, we can also adjust what we see on the other side, which is awesome. And that's what I mean by being very customizable. We can also do pretty much the same with this screen here. But for me personally, I think I would keep it with the tachometer just so I know what my revs are doing. Up at the top here, we have a hard-to-touch dashboard. And that brings me down to our touchscreen. Again, same software as before, but new surrounding. We can go to menu, which is kind of like your home screen, which is kind of jumblation of all the different apps. You can also swipe from the top to adjust your lighting, mute the sound, and also adjust all of your sound settings. And there's also a couple of other things over here, such as your notifications. We have shortcuts to either side of the screen. We also have your volume and tune knob, awesome, to see that we don't have sliders for those functions. We can go into our radio screen where you can see your presets will pop up right over here, and then whatever is playing will be at the top. And you also have some other selections over here, such as source. Going back to home, we also have our phone screen, our vehicle screen, which will host various like trip informations and things like that. You can also go into selections so that you can see vehicle status. So if you have like low tire pressure or it's time for an oil change, that will pop up right over there. Going back to home, we also have our sound settings like you saw before. Media, which has to do with anything connected to your phone. And we also have App Connect for the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Assist systems to kind of toggle on and off your various assist systems, such as your blind spot warning, front assist, and lane keeping assist. We can also go back to access your climate controls throughout the screen, although there is a physical set right down here. So we can adjust temperature, fan speed, where you want the air to blow, all that good stuff from right in the screen. And as you can see, the screen kind of has this motion sensor to it. So if you get close to it, actually let me show you with the climate control. If you get close to the screen with your finger, kind of more options will pop up for you. So there's my finger getting close and all the options will pop up. Now this also works with kind of like a gesture control. You can kind of swipe your hand around to control the screen. That is pretty cool. And then on the last page, we kind of just have a help, settings and things like that in there. So that is the screen. Again, pretty much the same software, just a different surrounding within the screen, just to kind of class it up a little bit. Down here, we have a couple of air vents with the hazards right in the middle. We thankfully have heated seats today too, so we have heated seats both for the driver and passenger. Up here is most of the climate controls, and everything is kind of touch sensitive, so it's not a real button. We can see you have the defrosters, where you'd like the air to blow, which is pretty cool, and then recirculating and sync for the two temperatures. Again, we do have the dual zone climate control, which is very nice. And you can also access the temperatures right at the bottom there. And also your fan speed, you could slide that or just kind of press the outer buttons. And if you press menu, the climate control menu will pop up right there. Below the climate control, we have a kind of a phone box. Let me get the shifter out of our way so we could see. We have a wireless charging pad down here, 2 USB-Cs, and also a 12-volt power outlet. And I also feel that there's some cooling going on from the top here to keep your phone nice and cool while it's wireless charging. That is thinking. Well done, Volkswagen, for that. Down here we have a small array of buttons surrounding the shifter, including your parking brake. Also your auto start stop. You can quickly toggle that on and off. Then you can also pull up your parking camera and turn on and off your parking sensors with that button. That's pretty cool. We also have a mode selector for your driving modes. We can switch it on over to a snow mode, which it feels like we need today because it's so cold. We could switch over to a kind of normal driving selection. And within your kind of street and normal driving selection, you have a couple of modes within. So there is Eco, Normal, Sport, and then a custom mode that you can customize yourself. And then we also have an off-road and an off-road custom mode. So if you press the adjust button right there, you can see all of the various things which you can customize, which it is pretty vast. We'll switch it over to the normal mode for now. Bit of storage down here, 2 cup holders, a little bit of a tray here where you could put smaller like golf pencils and things, I suppose. And underneath your armrest, you have a pretty deep storage, and it even goes in towards the cup holders. Passenger area looks pretty good. We have some glossy black, also some painted trim, and some cloud text trim. Our glove box is actually pretty huge, again, for a car of this size. And again, the passenger seat is 6-way manually adjusting. We have grab handles for the passenger, and our visors have a mirror and light, as well as a card holder. We have SOS and maintenance buttons, informational buttons as well, and also some buttons to put back the sunshade. We've got some illumination controls up here, also to turn on your rear illumination, to turn on the illumination when the door opens, as well as the sunroof control itself. So the glass part of the sunroof, you can press it in to tilt or slide it back to slide the sunroof back. And once the shade is open, it looks very nice and gets lots of light into the interior of the vehicle. One more thing I wanted to point out is visibility. So the rear view mirror back here is just a basic rear view mirror, but it gives you a good view out the back. And looking down the side, there really isn't much for blind spots in this car. You have that big quarter window I pointed out when we were in the rear, and a pretty big rear facing window as well. But that pretty much does it for all the features on the updated 2025 Volkswagen Taos in the SE Black trim level. Make sure you check out our test drive video, which the link for that should be popping up right about here, right about now. And thank you very much for watching again. I hope you stick with us next time.